Thank you. So that is the intention of this class, is to tap into our inner children and just spend this time and return back to the Garden of Eden before Eve bit the fruit, and from that space co-create this beautiful new way of being and play and joy and peace and love that does exist, that we can co-create. So with all that being said, is there anything that's coming up for anyone either on the screen or sitting here in the audience? Like, why are you here? What inspired you to be here today? Yes, Neal.
I'm using this space to communicate and have fun doing it. And so I'm here, I'm using this space for that. And I came here with this like general commitment of having a collective vision for the entirety of humanity, to where we live in harmony with nature, and we collectively aspire to create that for our generation and for generations to come. So there's an element of having fun communicating, and then the other element is my larger commitment.
That's that's beautiful. Can you hear me? Hello. That's really beautiful. And how are you having fun doing that? Like,
by being present, and by being present, I can tap into the joy that's available now. Like, rather than like thinking about what's going to be happening later on, or what already happened, I can be present, and it's not like happy, but it's just a general state of well-being, which I call joy.
amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you guys hear me okay on the screen? Can you give me a thumbs up if you hear me? Okay, just checking. Neal shared something that I'm also here for, and that is to remember that we're abundant and that we don't need. Another reason I created this is because I remembered, I now want to share that remembering with other people, that they don't need anything outside of themselves, and that abundance is all around them. They don't need the government. They don't need to be codependent on anyone. And so that's another reason that this got created. And that's another reason why I'm here. So, Tanya, why are you here? Mike.
I am here because I enjoy learning, and I want to expand and become as full into who I really am. And I want to hear other people's experiences and feel that, because all of it is a part of everything. Short and sweet.
Thank you. So some of you may not know that, but we have a leadership program here at Earth Awakening and Earth Awakening University. And we have, every week we have 3 distinctions. And this is specifically for you, Robert and Mervyn. So I'm just going to open up this world so that you guys can step into the space where we're at. And that way you can find yourself in the same world that we're in at the moment. So there's these 3 words that we distinguish every week. And this week we have authenticity, acknowledgement, and fun and play. And so in regards to us being in nature and just being in the garden and even just like our daily moment to moment life, like today, in this present moment, being present to the present of the present, how are you authentically feeling? Like, what is the emotion that's the most prevalent in the moment? And who would like to go first? Yes, Peter. Can you hear me? Okay. It might actually be the 2 knobs on the left. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with your audio, Peter, but we're not able to hear you, so. That's interesting.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, that was on my side. I apologize. Yeah, no, so first thing, just to begin, Rose probably doesn't have a way to speak, and she says, for me, it's getting in touch with nature. I am here to get in touch with nature and make connection with nature. So that's what Rose has put in the chat here. And that has inspired me also very beautifully, because the reason why I am here is really to reveal and discover what my true nature is. And the Eden for me is really the, the nature of peace inside and the joy inside. And the Garden of Eden for me is the playground in which I can play when I get in touch with my inner child again. And so I take this opportunity here always with you, which is always very beautiful, to reflect on what stories are there in my mind that are currently preventing me from feeling that I am the innocent and the all-powerful and all-beautiful child inside. What are the stories that are preventing me from seeing that and being that? And getting inspiration from other people here, because they're sharing beautiful stories, and also the vision of how would it be to be a child again is really going beyond the stories that we have created in life. So it is very helpful to be here. I appreciate this very much. And your question, what is the feeling that's here currently in me? So I want to share that for me, it's uncertainty with knowing where the world is going and what is happening. And so it's just
You're freezing up, Peter. Or you were. Okay, I think we lost Peter for a little bit. Yes, Neal.
I'm feeling playful. I'm here having some more fun communicating. And so I'm feeling playful, and I was sitting there and I was also feeling a lot of gratitude. And the gratitude was coming from the co-creation that's been happening here as a community. And I used to think like I need to do it all alone, but that's not the case. And I see that being expressed with people assisting and lots of people assisting. And it's assistance through physical efforts, it's assistance through conversations. So there's all these aspects of co-creative assistance that I'm seeing and feeling, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm receiving it.
So you're here at Earthwaking Village, and you're out in the garden almost every day. Actually, I feel like you are almost
Every day.
every day. So like, how does that feel to have, like a year ago, I remember there was a time where it was just you and I out there, and now there's like, sometimes there's upwards of 8 to 10 people in the garden at the same time. Like, well, you spoke to gratitude, but like, what has that done to the child within, and you spoke to gratitude, like, can you share more about that? Like, the way of being that it's allowed your inner child to be in the Garden of Eden.
I'm gonna answer the gratitude question because it's like I've experienced to the degree uh, that I've healed, like being in nature, and like how I've changed, perception shifts I've had, like seeing a seed go from a seed to a sprout to a young plant, a full grown plant. I've seen that, I've observed it, and so now a lot of the gratitude is coming from seeing other people interact and experiencing things that I've experienced, but also experiencing things I've never experienced, and then sharing that with me, and uh, which has me see things differently than what I saw before. But like the gratitude is coming from the people having direct witness, like being the awareness of what's going on around them, and feeling the emotion within their bodies that goes along with seeing and feeling, uh, being in nature, and being surrounded by it.
Thank you. That's very beautiful.
You're welcome.
Peter, you were speaking and then your camera froze. The last I heard, you were speaking about the uncertainty in the world, that the word uncertainty was present. Do you want to continue with where you left off, or do you have something else that you would like to share?
Yeah, I was almost done with that. I was just saying that in the Garden of Eden as a child, there is no uncertainty. So going back to that moment where we are free from the uncertainty, and um, going back to be able to just be fully in the present moment and enjoy the beauty that is around. The truth is that no uncertainty is necessary if we truly are connected to our nature. There is nothing but certainty. So that was my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have a question for you, Peter, if you don't mind me asking. So, the uncertainty, like, how do we know that something is uncertain? Like, are we living, and my question is this, are we living in an answer, or are we living in an inquiry? And would that little inner child look at the world in an answer, such as that the world is a bad place and there's, all these things that are happening right now, or would the inner child see things from a different perspective, like being like, wow, like just in this curiosity. So those two, like the inquiry or the answer.
Yeah, I appreciate your question, because the moment you asked it, all uncertainty in a way disappeared from me in a split of a second, because I realized that this uncertainty for me is happening only because I have some expectations of how the world should be continuing to happen in the future. But as a child in the Garden of Eden, there is no expectation. We accept however life unfolds every moment, and it's all good and it's all perfect. It's happening according to the divine plan, and that is always perfect.
Wow, thank you. We just returned to the present of the present of the present. We did it. We're home. Thank you, Peter. So who else would like to share what it's like to, or what it may have been like as a child to be in nature, be in the garden? And I'll just share another thing. When I was a child, go ahead, Robert. Yes, great to see you, brother. I'm so grateful you're here. Like, it's been a while, man.
I know it has. It's good to see you too, man. So my idea, or well, I shouldn't say my idea, but what I got from walking in the Garden of Eden would be the true closeness between you and God before sin came into play. So you have your perfectness, you're content with everything around you, you want for nothing. And it is to be truly childlike in that moment, because you're with God, you have your Father with you at all times. So I mean, like, to me, when you talk about how I feel about this in the discussion, I feel like the closeness with nature would be even closer with God present, because you're technically walking in a garden that He created for us to be absolutely perfect and taken care of. That's my outlook on that.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, man. It's good to see you. Love you, man.
I love you too, brother. That's amazing. Like, when you said that, like, I said earlier about the present of the present of the present, and it's like that being aware that God's love is all around me as I'm walking around here in the jungle.
You're probably
Like that,
seeing it better and more close up than anyone else.
I won't put any labels on it, but thank you for your share. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for
Yeah,
being
of
here.
course. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Does anyone else feel inspired to share? Mervin, Annette, or Rose, or Sarah Jean? So with the authenticity, the word that we're distinguishing this week, what is the word or the emotion that you're most present to in the moment? And I will go first. Like, actually, I feel like I asked that question prior. It is a new moment, so thank you. For me, it is, and thank you, Rose. I see that. For Rose, it's peace. For me, it's gratitude. I feel a lot of gratitude for God's presence and the chair that I'm sitting in now, and all of you, all being here, like just experiencing this moment this one moment in time that took billions and billions of moments to lead up to this. And so I'm just grateful for you all. I'm grateful to God and his love in this space and the Holy Spirit. And so that's what I'm grateful. Who else would love to share what authentically are you feeling in the moment?
If I may, I'm
Yes,
gonna
you
steal
may.
this. I'm gonna steal this one from Neal real quick. But I'm feeling unequivocal joy in hearing what you're saying right now. Heck yeah.
Hey, when are you getting your ticket down here to Costa Rica, Robert?
Man, you would be surprised. I'm actually on 18 months probation right now.
It's even more reason to come down here.
Yeah, even, honestly, you're not lying. It is an even more reason to come down there. I've been I've been praying a lot, looking for guidance from God. And he gave me a message because I'm moved to help people. So today I wanted to become an occupational therapist because it's never too late, I want to help those with physical needs. And then if I could come out to places like Puerto Rico and help people out there who don't have the money for it.
Yes.
Okay, honey. Heck yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, no, man. You're welcome. Heck yeah. Wonderful class.
The question is, what are you authentically feeling in this moment? Like what emotion is present? So Robert said that he's feeling joy. Neal said gratitude. I said gratitude. Like, what are you present to in the moment?
Looking at all of you, listening to everyone, and seeing how happy you all are and just shining. Like your faces are glowing. I feel it. And I'm just thankful, very thankful for everyone in here and everywhere. But in the moment right now with all of you, it feels almost, words almost can't say enough. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Love you, Tanya. Does anyone else feel inspired to share what they're feeling in the moment in relation to being fully authentic with the moment and where we're at? Annette, go ahead. And then Sarah Jean wants to share.
Yes, I'm feeling authentic. I'm feeling inspiration. I'm just feeling so inspired. And it's this community. There's no walls, there's no barriers, there's no judgment. You show up and how you feel, how you are is perfectly acceptable. And I am envious that people live in the earthquaking community and they have those interactions physically with people and they are inspired and they are like-minded. And I live in a community, it's a rural community and it's not that, and I'm not judging that, that's fine. It gives me plenty of growth, but it inspires me to continue to stick to my truth and be authentic, regardless of other people, not necessarily I want to say, I don't know if they're judging me and looking at me. I don't know if that's my ego. I don't know what it is. But these meetings bring me inspiration to step up, stay in my truth, stay authentic, and push through it. And I'm so grateful for you, Dennis, in this class, in this community. And I'm grateful as well. Very, very grateful. So, so grateful and inspired that I have this in my life, this connection in my life. And and to keep growing, keep learning, keep feeling into how I can inspire others because of these meetings and classes, and how I can serve, putting together how I can serve others in a way where they just see the changes in me, because I'm not the same. I think people notice that, but they can't quite put their finger on it, and just stay in love regardless. And yes, I'm inspired. I'm grateful. I am overwhelmed, actually, just in joy in this moment. Just being joyful as well. And in this class, answering your previous question, I wasn't fully present. I apologize for that. This class, connecting to nature and feeling that joy, and putting that as well in my walk, in my talk, and having it come through in the community I'm in. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
How I authentically feel in this moment is a lot of things. One is I've got this massive toothache that came rolling in, and my nerves exposed, and I was really irritated as fuck with it. But then Neal was like, "Oh, you could use some holy basil," and so there's like a bunch, like a wad of holy basil in the back of my mouth right now. So I'm super grateful because it's not in that much pain anymore. So thank you for holy basil. Holy shit. Yeah. So really grateful for that. Really grateful to actually like witness all of the parts inside of myself and just being okay with all of them. There's a lot going on in my world, and I'm actually just sitting with them and just being like, okay, it's okay to feel this. It's okay to feel this, and just allowing a lot. So it's that brings like a sense of peace over myself that it doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to, all those things, right? It's just allow for whatever to come up. So that was really beautiful for me to experience. So I appreciated that too. So a lot of appreciation and awareness for what's naturally arising inside of my system, and integrating it and acknowledging it for what it is and giving it love the only way that I can. So I feel blessed to actually have that awareness. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah Jean. Who else feels inspired to share where we're at authentically? All right. Well, thank you all for sharing, like, where we're at. Being authentic, like, from here, anything is possible. When we're real, and being real with ourselves first, and then from that space, like, we can co-create, we can be in fun and play, we can have joy, peace, gratitude, all these amazing emotions. And sometimes those are not present, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to feel like shit. It's okay to get pissed off at times. That's part of what we're here for. So that's what authenticity is for Dennis. And so I would love to do this exercise with everyone, and I'm actually going to participate with this. Who all, if you don't have access to a pen and a paper, get yourself a piece of paper and a pen, and we're going to go through a little exercise. You need one? Okay. Now wait one more minute and then we're gonna start. All right. So the exercise that we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to when we were a child and be authentic, and we're gonna love that little child. So if you can go back in time to when you were, 3 to 5 years old and there was nothing, you didn't have any mud on your lenses and everything was perfect. And you can also love the inner child at the moment. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna acknowledge that part of herself that God sees, that we are the perfection in the child of God that we are. We're gonna see ourselves as a king or as a queen, and we're just gonna acknowledge ourselves for who we are. And we're gonna let's take 3 minutes and just find as many ways to love ourselves and to acknowledge ourselves as possible. Does anyone have questions on that? Awesome. So let's take 3 minutes and let's love the fuck out of ourselves. Ways in which you can acknowledge the inner child within. Ways of being. So it could be fun, joyful, happy, creative, playful, curious. Hello. So we're doing this exercise. We're taking some time and acknowledging the inner child that we are, if you're new here. And we got another minute or so to go. Alrighty. I feel like we're at 3 minutes. I'm just gonna share some of the things that came up for me as fun, curious, joyful, loving, peaceful, happy, creative, surrendered, humble, playful. So those are some of the ways of being that came up, and it actually felt really good to write these things down. And so let's take some shares on what you wrote down and how it made you feel and what your experience was. Yes, Neal, thank you.
I acknowledge myself for being creative, playful, peaceful, for breathing, for mobility, for agility, for compassion, for Kayla, for Layla, for family, for friends, for creation, for God, for plants, for mycelium, for insects, for animals, for trees, for herbs, for receiving, for giving, for a warm, dry place to sleep, for an abundance of food, for an abundance of water, for high performance nutrition, for presence, for abundance, for wealth, for surrender, for prosperous or prosperity, for allowing, and for flow. Man, I love you, Neal.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you.
This body is my best friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you, brother.
I love you.
Yes, sir, Gene.
So the question was for my little child back when I was like 3 to 5, right?
Yes.
I was like super fearless. I was expressive. I just allowed whatever to come through. If I wanted to start throwing a temper tantrum and banging on the floor, I'd do it and just allowed whatever to come through. I felt very free. I felt like very wondrous, like, oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this. So, it's like that awe, that starstruck feeling all the time when I'm looking at anything, and I just was fearless. I wanted to do that, so I'd try everything. For shining and just allowing myself to be expressive. What else? Yeah, thankful for being alive. Like I lived my life to the max, even from the moment I was born till all the time. So yeah, it was like the freedom of allowing myself to be authentically me. So yeah.
And do you feel like those ways of being are present? Like,
Now
yeah.
they're coming back to me, of course. Yes, that there's some things that I still hold back on, like my anger. Like, oh, I shouldn't do that around certain people, or 'cause I was trained also like with the crying and things like that. I've opened up a lot more. But it was like I was trained to like go to a cry room and do that shit by yourself and put on the tough girl mask and muscle through things. And that's coming off. That has been coming off. But I still see that there's certain things that I do. I put like a jokester on, like, or performance kind of mask on sometimes. And I've been noticing and being aware of that. And I'm like, oh, I got you. So yeah.
And so what was that like to go back and now see that, what was that like to go back in time like that experience?
The biggest thing that came up for me was the fearlessness, not giving a fuck and allowing. So I really want those. I mean, I get to, express those feelings again in the present moment now that because I have awareness on it. But those two stuck out the most for me. And I was like, damn, that is me. Why am I not doing those things? You know, so that's coming out the box. Boom, you're welcome. And yeah,
Thank you for being authentic.
you're welcome.
Who else would like to share what came up for them? Thanks, Tanya.
Well, I'm gonna kind of take this in a slightly, I was trying to figure out exactly how to express myself from what you were asking, and for some reason it wasn't sinking in until listening to you all. So it's gonna be a lot of what I've already heard, definitely curious. I was always so curious, and I'm still very curious. I was humble because I was alone a lot, so it was easy. Connected. I always felt really connected to being outside, and I used to climb trees a lot. I want my inner child to feel secure. I can't say that I felt that when I was young all the time, or very much.
Well, if that little child was secure, what would be present?
What would be present?
What way of being would be present?
Living in the moment. Just try not to think too much and just living in the moment. Being, just being. Known, to be known. Wonder, awe, full of wonder. Open, being open because there was no fear to be open, because you didn't think about those things. They weren't consciously in our consciousness. And I didn't know judgment. Children are so free thinking and don't know judgment. But how I took it offline was, or in another direction, was the things that I did as a child that made me feel so awesome. And that would be climbing trees. I was really a big tree climber. In fact, one of my nicknames as a child was Monkey. And singing and running in the rain and jumping in puddles. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like you're at the right place. Who else would like to share? Yes, Peter.
Wait, can you give me the book?
So for me, I wrote 2 words down. I was immediate. I was feeling like I was an energetic flow through. When pain would come, I would immediately feel it, and I would just experience it fully. I would cry my cup out into emptiness. And then when the cup was empty, it was ready to bring in something else. Then joy would come, and I would just totally experience it fully. I would drink the nectar to the bottom of the cup again. Then when the cup was empty, play would come, and I would just experience the play fully. And there was a sense of like knowing that subconsciously I couldn't explain it, but I knew that there was a sense of that too shall pass. And I knew somewhere back in my mind that suppressing pain or suppressing anything is not the solution. Pretending that it's not there is not a solution either. And there was a sense of like cheerful endurance. I was enduring anything that would come, if it was good or if it was bad. There was an underlying sense of constant tranquility in me, accepting whatever comes in whatever way. I would just take it fully. So me as an adult now, I'm remembering those moments, and I'm remembering to be that too.
Wow, that's really beautiful, Peter. I want to acknowledge you for the depth that you took that. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Who else? All right, we got 5 more minutes to go until this time is over. We didn't get to nearly all the things that I had written down, and that's absolutely perfect, and I love that. What do you all feel inspired to do with this? Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just, if you're on the Zoom room, get on the camera. If you can turn on your cameras, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise. And what this is going to be is we're just going to, thank you, Robert. So we're just going to look at, if you're on video, we're going to look at somebody on the screen and we're just going to send them acknowledgements. And even if we don't know the person, we're going to send them love and really see their inner child and them being a child of God. And if you're here in person, yes, sir, do you have something? Okay. So let's just do that for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll end the call with another exercise or with some homework. What's that? And if you're in person, Neal, Tanya, and Sarah Jean, we'll do the same here. So let's just start right now. Just Google Eyes somebody on the camera up there if you're on Zoom. And we're gonna do the same here in person. We got 4 people here at the village, and we got 4 people up there or 3 people that have their camera on. So maybe just, switch off and take time or take turns. So I love you guys, and we'll be back in like 2 minutes. Let's do like one minute per person. All righty, thank you all. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you for participating. And I really love this exercise. I would love to go into more depth of what you experienced, and we only have 2 minutes to go. So I just want to say thank you. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for how amazing we are, that we are children of God, kings and queens in the Garden of Eden. We're actually remembering who we are, full of inspiration, life, love, joy, peace. Yes. We're doing it. We're remembering. And so let's for homework this week until next Thursday, we have another class at the same time. So if you're on Zoom, come back again. And also, we have another class tonight at 7 p.m. called the Freedom to Be Masterclass, that if you're interested, go on my Facebook page and I'll share that link on there. Very transformational of what's going to be happening there. I won't go into many details, but it's like, it'll be amazing. So anyways, the homework for this week, let's just be aware of that child within, and let's take an action that we did as a little 3 to 5 year old. Let's do something that little child would do or had done. For Tanya, maybe it's climbing a tree or finding a water puddle to jump in. For Dennis, it might be to go find a cow patty that's fresh and go squish my toes into it. So that sounds really fun and exciting. So let's do that for our homework and come back next week and just share our experience and what happened and how it made us feel. And we're just, thank you for being on this journey with me as we remember who we really are and returning back to the kingdom and the Garden of Eden. So thank you all. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful week.